Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Into the New with Sinister and Todd Overcash.
Mm.
Couple things that we've got for this week. I know this one might be a little late coming out, but hey, that's fine. We're busy. Um, so we wanted to take into a much more casual episode. The last couple have been somewhat heavy. And we've got a couple funny stories for you today. Some games that we wish we could go back and play that we just don't have a lot of time for right now. And then today's big topic is going to be, is there still fulfillment in watching your favorite streamers play video games versus buying the $60 to $70 title? Is that a adequate substitute? So I am going to turn it over to Todd here because he's got some pretty funny stories that y'all might want to relive with us that you may have caught on his stream about a year or so back. And if not, hopefully we may have a clip coming out on Twitter soon to give you some context. So Todd, we were just talking before this went live about what game that we really want to go back and play, which is Green Hell, and it kind of ties nicely into the conversation today. So why don't you go ahead and go over the thing we were talking about right before we hit start?
Yeah, so I am very, very guilty of just watching old clips of us at probably like 2 a.m. when I should be asleep and laughing
Mm-hmm.
at my own jokes as if like I didn't say
Oh
them
yeah,
and I know that they're coming up. But you
never
got
done that
me
before.
you got me into Green Hell, which I had no idea what it was. I just listened to you blindly when you're like, "You like this game?" And I'm like, and we've been streaming Road 96 lately and I'm like, "I love this game." You're like, "I know." And so in Green Hell, it's this survival game. I'll just compare it to The Forest for lack of comparison.
It's like a more hardcore version of the Forest.
It's like if The Forest was made in Squad.
Yes. Oh yes.
And
God, fuck the calorie bar, man.
oh my, and you were explaining to me, hey, by the way, if you eat a couple things, they'll cause you to hallucinate. You'll see things they're not there, and I'm like, oh, nice. We're just going for it. We're eating shrooms. These things are
Yeah,
spiked.
a little bit of context though, guys. Like this was ingredients for like a potion that they would take, like the tribes would take to see things. And so Todd was like, "Can I eat this ingredient?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you might see some shit, but yeah, you can."
And yeah, that potion is just peyote, and we're just in the middle of the forest. And he's like, all right, you might see predators, just don't freak out. Just don't freak out. You'll be
I think
fine.
I
You'll
said
be
I'm like
fine.
they're not real. Like they can't
Yeah.
hurt you.
And I'm like, are they in the room with us now? And then I ate the magic mushroom potions, and in front of me, two full grown fucking leopards looking at me and snarling. I'm like, Sinister, I'm hitting the peak. I'm hitting the peak. Turn around. He's missing a leg. He's gone. He's fucking gone. He's gone. And I'm not imagining. I'm not. Sinister doesn't have a studio grade microphone. He's screaming. It's cutting out every 2 seconds.
This was when I was on my. This is before you gave me that nice little bonus of the Logitech mic. So I was on like a Turtle Beach Xbox 360 microphone.
Your address is still on my Amazon. I almost send you like iPhone cables every 3 months when my Apple charger gives out.
Oh, I
Uh,
know.
so we got torn apart, and on the way to that, in the gathering, the hunter gatherer phase of me getting high in this video game, uh, I was also warned you might step on a snake, and I'm like,
On a
oh,
nope rope.
on a nope rope. I'm like, fucking a danger pasta, and lo and behold, I hear rattling. I hear just this tiny little maracas
It's
going
like,
on in
hey,
the background.
what's that noise? Do you hear that? And I'm like, no, no, just you.
Western Diamondback in the Amazon. Just don't know how we got there. I'm not going to ask about migratory patterns, nothing like that. And
Oh, it might be an invasive species, maybe.
really destroyed the ecosystem. And what we learned, it's a circular code. When I say that, I mean like it's just spinning like a
Yeah,
dreidel in
the original
place.
spin botter rattlesnake.
And it's between us. It is perfectly between us. And I think it was me. I think we were both working through it though. It's like, what do you do? Throw a rocket. I missed. It was just I threw like Halo grenade, like CE throwing a grenade. It was just awful. And you're like, okay, well if I step closer towards it, I'll get its attention. And I'm like, oh, it's aggro, like Army of Two. and we just kept doing it and kept doing it, and we learned it can't spin faster than we can walk up to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we like full blown siege call outed this thing to death, like with fucking twigs.
he's over there peeking, swinging wide,
Yep.
and
Double tapped it. Double tapped. He's lit.
eventually when it got perfectly equidistant to where it could go either way, it wouldn't matter. We just run up on it, and whoever, I think it was me, just Oonga Boonga smacked it with a stick that I got on the ground. It's a one-shot kill. I was just marveled at our coordination, and then we ate the mushrooms that we gathered from said trip.
And then got slaughtered like karma by the Jaguars. And I really meant like, all right, so the game like makes you see these forest warriors, and they're painted, they're gonna run through, they're not gonna hurt you. It's like it's totally part of the campaign to get fucking slaughtered by these Jaguars. And so Todd's just sitting there, and I'm watching his stream, and I can just see his face, and he's just like, yeah, not gonna hurt us, right? Yeah, okay, not gonna hurt us. Got to redo all of that.
I became George of the Jungle for a moment, and then realized I was not of this jungle.
Yeah, so it's just we wanted to well, our timer's up for the intro, Todd. We wanted to yeah, we put ourselves on a timer, guys, so we keep this to 20 minutes or less. For those of you that listened to last episode, you got a little Easter egg of me absolutely getting reamed on CS:GO. CS:GO roll. But do you have any other funny stories that we've like run into? Outside of like multiplayer, like you know, voice chat comms. I'm trying to think. We've just had so many moments that were just like genuinely funny to us in the moment that I wish we could post, but I don't know if we'll ever get all the clips out.
In the moment, I've had a lot with Wolf and Flick. Like there was a mode we were playing the Star Wars mode, in was it Insurgency, Sandstorm Insurgency, and it was one of those to force players to not to advance like too quickly through it. Whenever you died, it dropped a grenade. Like you literally,
no.
it was a martyrdom, and there was friendly fire enabled. So anytime you think you're that guy, you know, you're gonna go in and rescue everybody, you actually get blown apart by not only like the person you're trying to save,
I can only imagine
their soul turning
the
into
shenanigans.
a pin being pulled, and you're like, I shouldn't have done this. I've seen movies actually about this very moment.
I don't even want to know. I was thinking of one that was actually pretty funny. You remember we 1v1'd with lightsabers? That was a good time. On Lego Star Wars on the Steam Play. Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
made my head injury worse.
Apparently I'm pro league lightsaber fighter. All right, so let's hop into the topic because Green Hell was one of those games that I watched Noah J do a stream through of when I was sick. I got COVID and I got so sick. It was like the first time I had like actual COVID, not like a false positive or anything like that. Like I got destroyed by it. And so I remember distinctly, it was like 12 o'clock at night. I can't sleep. I'm throwing up. My body hurts. You know, just COVID things. And it's called quarantine. So, you know, what day is it? What month is it? I don't know. So I'm watching Noah J do the stream of the Force. I'm like, whatever. Like I only watch Noah J for zombies content. Let's see what else he does. And I'm watching this game and like, this is so stupid. This game is terrible. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool. And I just get hooked. And I think I binged like a 12-hour series that day. I just watched this complete playthrough. And by the end of it, I'm like, Todd, we have to play this game. And it's got like a very political ending that I like couldn't wait for your reaction to and stuff. And I was like, we have to play this game. And I definitely say like I got more fulfillment out of watching Noah J play it. You know, his personality, his reactions, just his commentary on the game, and watching him just absolutely suck at the game was hysterical. And now that we've been playing it, I'm like actually enjoyed watching more than playing. Now I'm still having fun playing. Like I still want to finish it. I still like that's not what I'm getting. But I remember like that was the first time I've genuinely felt like really immersed in someone else's playthrough. And I'm wondering like if that's a really good alternative to people like in my shoes. Like I'm a teacher, I'm on a really strict budget. like I really don't have it in there to afford a $70 game every month for each
Mhm.
title that I want to get. I'm like, is watching it from a personality that you enjoy maybe more fulfilling than actually grinding it and playing it for yourself?
And I'll give a different perspective because, IRL, like I have friends and family that watch our content to much my disdain, and hold it over my head. And, so I thought of a moment, and I think this is a really good moment as like anecdotal evidence. If you remember a theme park on Rainbow Six Siege, we were
Hmm.
day drinking, and it was one of those like you just screamed, "Peek it at me," and like I get injured at the top of arcade. It was a mess, and it was just one of those they didn't even enter the building,
Yeah.
and I flat out got Snapchats in the middle of that stream, going, "This is hilarious!" Like I had friends that were a couple like laid on their couch, like, and we were
Watching the stream. Yeah.
watching this stream and we were on the big screen, and of course I would just want to yell, "Mama, I made it," when I see something like that. um but they would never have touched a competitive first person shooter. They would
Yeah.
never have paid the money, whether Siege was 60 new, 70 new, like more current shooters. They would have never went into that world. But the idea of finding someone you find either so captivating or entertaining, or both, a group of people. A lot of games being made now are going to be more multiplayer oriented, and I've never really understood, the idea of watching another group play it besides, like, say, Achievement Hunter in recent time, because I grew up watching their content until that all kind of
Yeah.
fell apart.
Oh, dude, it's
Until,
so bad now.
oh, it,
I
it
went and
just
watched the video the other day. It's my childhood just died a little.
it's just so rough. And but then I have people that still reach out to me and go, "Oh my god, I just love watching the NSO guys."
Hmm.
And I'm really the only streamer of the group, but it's one of those, like, it's such a unique perspective to get that, hey,
Like your Road 96 streams have actually like analytically done some of the best. Like it's held really high viewership
yeah,
sustainably for like the entire stream. And it's not the easiest game to play through. Like it can get pretty boring if you're by yourself. I mean, luckily there's, 3 to 4 of us in there, like all just, making horrible decisions. um, which I think adds to it. But I'm wondering if it's one of those things. It's like if you're a bad gamer, and like there are plenty of bad gamers out there, like, and you don't want to grind out the new Star Wars game, and you want to watch someone else do it. I think there's a world in which that might be more fun for you to watch. It's kind of like
absolutely.
why do people watch pro streamers play video games? Because like I can't do what Imperial Hall does in Apex. So I watch him play because man, like, oh, I would have died immediately there. So I'm
No,
wondering if that's the same thing with story games, like even without the price tag. Like I think there is still a skill gap in like I'm awful at, Sekiro and those other Bloodborne games. Whereas like you watch some people play it, like Silent's actually solid at it, and you're like, my God, I never could be that boss, and you're making a joke out of it.
it's so hard to pull your eyes like away from witnessing someone who's good at that environment, even if it's one you wish to be good in or not. Like, it's just there's something so environmentally, like, intriguing about it that I do the same thing. I like, the Soulsborne games. Like, I just cannot touch them. They're too
No,
different for me. Um, but then I get on, like, say, like Ghost of Tsushima, and that's a game. It's a PlayStation exclusive, right? And no one's gonna buy that game, that I say are like PC committed, like some of our community. And but no, they still got fulfillment out of, say, like the run through I did on the hardest
yeah,
difficulty.
yeah.
Um, or you have
That too,
those
dude. When you're
environments.
fighting that dragon in the cave, or
It
the ravine, or whatever, was it the snake? What was the big thing in the ravine that you had to like dodge on the rocks?
was no, it was a snake. It
It
was a
was a
snake.
snake. Yeah, it was a big
Yeah,
snake.
I think that was.
Another Eastern back diamond. Eastern
Yeah,
diamondback.
yeah, I think that was Sekiro, and it's one of those things, like, if you don't have the group to go play and enjoy these multiplayer moments, or do these single player games but as in a group play like we did with Row 96 and the Telltale games, I imagine that it is far more enjoyable to not only spend free 99 to go watch a streamer play it, but then like a group that you enjoy or a particular streamer that you enjoy. And so you don't have to put yourself out there to enjoy both the say the entertainer and the game, because there are games that people just want to know what's happening. Like the Souls games have good stories, but I just cannot commit the time emotionally to get good and be able to play those things out.
Can I tangent for a second really quick because my ADHD is kicking in.
Go nuts.
This timer has 32 million views. How much has he made off of a 5-minute timer video?
I wonder how many.
Sorry,
he's got 186,000 subscribers. I wonder how many are from. You said yeah. I wonder how many are from just this.
It's just
They're
timer
just different
videos.
themes timers.
Oh
They're just.
God.
We're using a Christmas one.
We're doing YouTube wrong.
We're retiring from streaming. I'm uploading timers in different fonts.
Oh my gosh, 32 million views, 186,000 subscribers, 8 videos of timers. Okay.
But,
I hate my life.
But yeah, here, do you want to tie in to the title we were talking about? Before the stream starting, the Star Wars one.
Yeah. So, like again, like I live well off. Like I don't want anybody to get that impression. Although if you want to send me money, my Cash App can be found in the title. No, we live well off. Like we really do. Both me and my wife are teachers. We make solid money. We own a house. We eat well. Our kids taken care of. Like I live comfortably. But we have a strict budget that allows us to live comfortably. And I just don't budget really any money for video game stuff because to me, there's so much good free content out there. Why would I spend $70 on a game that I may or may not enjoy? And so like we were just talking about the new Star Wars game. And like I'm a massive Star Wars fan, massive Star Wars buff. And I was telling Todd, I'm like, the only way I can play this game is if I sell some of my CSGO skins and buy it on Steam. But I really don't want to buy a game for $70, knowing that I may only play it for a couple hours and then move on. I'm like, I'd rather watch you play it and enjoy that experience than me spending that much money on a video game that I'm like, I'm still not really sure I want to play. And so we were just talking about like, I think it's a little ridiculous that like these new games coming out are so expensive. Like the reason you used to go to PC was because games were cheaper because they didn't have to re-optimize games for the consoles. Like PC games would be $40, console games would be $60 because of the reformatting. Mm-hmm. Now I swear I think the PC exclusives are the most expensive option.
And it's created this nasty like risk versus reward environment because having a machine that has way more options to go, do you want to do the AMD processing? Do you want to do the DLSS Plus on NVIDIA? There's almost too many variables. It's to the point where me as a player, the $70 game, even if I'm committed and I want to get it, then I start reading about day one patches and how many things can delay. I mean, a moment that younger gamers may not realize or remember or know of is, and I'll just use this story. When we went to a midnight release, and I think the last one I did, and I like super committed to was Black Ops 3. And when you got home and there was a huge update, it broke your heart because it was legitimately midnight. It wasn't this.
I did it for the first EA Battlefront game. Do you remember what a nightmare that was on launch?
I feel so bad for you knowing that. Yeah. Really? That's awful.
Me and my brother went to it in Charlotte. Like we drove a long time to get there, went to it, got the game, got home at 2:00 in the morning. We was going to just play one game before we went to bed. Nope.
No. No, even if you had a gig down, like you were just hoping EA would give you some leniency.
Oh, you couldn't even get into the server. Like we downloaded it really quickly, but then the servers were crashing. So like there was the queue timer to get into the server. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a nightmare.
And for this happening to, I'll say like to non-competitive environments, like just casual play is just so heartbreaking. And I don't know if it's an environment created by crunch time or hey, get the product.
It's got to be by corporate because Absolutely. Cyberpunk, Battlefield, no, it's just EA thing.
Seen a common denominator here.
No, but it's got to be it's got to be done by from the environment. Like, hey, we've set the launch date, everything's pre-ordered, all the graphics are done. Literally, all the graphics are done. Like, this isn't like an org post at this point. This is 8 months worth of marketing campaigns. I don't care if the game's ready; it's getting released now.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's the right move. I personally, I'm going to speak for you here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm
Sure.
sure you have no problem doing that. Um, I would rather wait another month and a half for the game to be perfect on drop and me have zero issues than me pre-order a game, get it, and it's unplayable. I'm like, I refunded Cyberpunk. I've never gone back and played it. I probably won't. I had it pre-ordered. I was super hyped for it. It came out. It was unplayable. I refunded it, and I probably will never touch the franchise again. Like, that's how bad I got like burnt, like just turned off by that game.
And that's part of like the risk reward to it is by the time you see all of these patches get completed and you have all the updating done, you wait for the servers to start stabilizing, you wait for everything to just kind of wrap up. You are now dealing with the idea of like, well, Battlefield became free. You are, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
say wrap up this last point here, but Battlefield became free. By the time things start to finally fall into the correct place that they should, um, you are dealing with the idea of sales. You're dealing with the idea of now you don't even need to pay that full price for a AAA title. Uh, and then why would I pre-order? Why would I do anything? If all these pre-orders are going to hold this game hostage like Cyberpunk, there's just no reason to do it. Um, so yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with you. Why would I ever commit $70 to something that I know has been like a developmental nightmare from start to finish?
Oh, I know.
And I think that's really the end of the line there on that one is just why constitute that budgetary difference when you can watch a streamer do it and they can kind of explain it to you. And even if you still end up buying the game, at least you got your doctor's second opinion on it, right? You're not just this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed consumer going for this purchase.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any last thoughts from you?
No, I'm pretty much good.
Fucking awful.
So impressed you're able to keep that together.
Thanks. Well, this will probably be a topic we hit on again. I want to thank you all for listening. Now, it's one of those, we are still figuring our way out of how we want to direct this podcast. And so if you have any topic ideas, if you have any concepts you want us to debate, speak about, or if you have any disagreements with what we said previously or touch base on anything, we are an open book right now when it comes to constructive criticism and really any ideas to help us get this.
Next week, our
Mhm.
goal is to kind of do like a question and answer. I think we would really like to do a question and answer podcast every 5 or 6 episodes. And as he's saying, the only way we can do that is with y'all's participation. So please, any questions you want to ask, shoot me or him DMs, post it in the comments. We'll go find them. And if we don't have something to, if we don't have enough questions to go a full episode, we'll add something else in there. But we'd really like to get some feedback and get a chance to answer y'all guys' questions.
Definitely. Well, with that being said, thank you all. Everyone, keep safe, keep well, and we hope to have you listening to the next one.